Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Prom Night, the 2008 reboot movie. So years ago, I saw this on YouTube and I just rewatched it last night because I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember being disappointed in it. And so watching this now and knowing some of the stars in here, I had no idea Idris Elba was in this movie, and I had no idea who he was back then. I had no idea who Brittany Snow was back then, but I've seen her in so many projects. She always looks different in everything she's in because her hair color and everything. Because now I think it's red and stuff like that. She's done some slasher stuff before, like, the X movie and then some other movie. And Idris Elba, this was literally the predecessor, well, not predecessor, but the stepping stones of him playing Luther. Because that's what he basically played in this. And he was really good in Luther. I have to say, like, how in the world is this a slasher movie? I don't get it. Like, this is supposed to be based off the 1980s slasher Prom Night. It's a literal reboot. And it's the 5th entry in the franchise. Now, I've never seen any of the other Prom Night movies. None of them. But I'm about to watch the original as soon as I get through recording this. Because, like, I've always wanted to see it. And now I'm really curious to see which is better. And so, like, the first time I ever even heard of Prom Night was in the Scream movie when Randy was talking to Stu. And so I knew it was a slasher movie. I just never seen it. And so when I seen this, I'm just kind of like, how in the world is this a slasher movie? Like, I don't get it. It feels more like a true crime drama than a slasher movie. And even more, it feels like a TV episode. Some type of law cop type show where, like, this guy is obsessed with a teenager and just keeps coming after her. That's what it feels like. It really doesn't feel like a slasher. It feels like they just threw in the whole slasher vibe thing in there just because they had to, adhere to the reboot and everything. But it really doesn't feel like a slasher. Now, I knew there was a red flag going into this when it was rated PG-13. You can't make a slasher out of PG-13. What the world? All of the kills were either off screen or the camera panned to like another section as they was getting stabbed, or you'll see them get stabbed very quickly and there'll only be like a little bit of blood. And I'm just kind of like, that's not a slasher. You cannot make no slasher into a PG-13 movie. You just can't do that. It has to be rated R. It needs to have the cuss words. It needs to have people getting stabbed, and it needs to have blood and everything. And the little amount of blood they had was just bizarre. I don't understand this. What the heck was going on in 2008 that made them think, hey, we're going to reboot a slasher, but it's going to be PG-13. It reminds me of like a slashery type television show. Because they are light on blood and stabbing and stuff. So that's just like embarrassing. Now, when it comes to this movie, one major problem I'm having is just the killer himself. Why is he doing what it is he doing? Why is he obsessed with Brittany Snow's character, which I don't even remember her name? But why is he obsessed with her? We're told early on in the beginning that, he's obsessed with her. He tried to kidnap her when she was a freshman. And he's been in jail since all these years, but he just escaped 3 days ago. And for whatever reason, he's still obsessed with her. It would have been nice if they would have explained that. Now, I haven't watched the original, like I said, so I don't know if there's a motive behind it. But, don't try to do the whole Halloween thing where there's no motive. It was 2008. You need a motive. Also, why her out of everybody else? Yeah, she's pretty and everything, but so are all the other girls in the movie. Not to mention, she has no personality. None. I mean, none. She's just an ordinary girl who's just nice. Everybody else in this movie has some type of quirk that makes them who they are. They have some type of personality. The horny guy, the even hornier guy who wants to propose, the smart, sassy kind of girl, the rude queen bee type girl, but her, she's just ordinary. Maybe that's the thing. Like, I do like the acting in here, I'll say. The acting is good. Everybody acts the way they should. Brittany Snow does a really good job playing like the girl next door, ordinary, like, nice girl, but that's literally all she is and stuff. And you know what? I had no idea she had a scar on her forehead. I've seen her in so many projects, I've never seen the scar until this movie and stuff. She said she got it because her sister was babysitting her and her sister forgot she was babysitting her and she slipped, fell, and busted her head wide open on a brick. Whew, at 3 years old and stuff. But it's good to see she has embraced her scar and is not ashamed of it. Plus, the whole Harry Potter thing. And she's such a beautiful woman and everything, and I really wish this movie would have done well for her and stuff. But like I said before, I've seen her in other stuff and she's done well in that. Sadly, her TV show, Almost Family, did not do well. But that was never going to do well anyway because the show is based on didn't do well either. Plus, there's so much like Me Too controversy and just the whole idea of a doctor using his man juice to impregnate 100 women at an IV clinic just because he felt like it, you know what I'm saying? So that was never gonna go well. But, at least she got the makeup in it in the X movie and like the Pitch Perfect movies and stuff. And so when it comes to the movie, I'm having a huge problem with the lack of a motive by the killer. I also have a problem with this not feeling like a slasher, but more like a crime. So it's a pretty okay, pretty good, like, crime drama, but it's not supposed to be that type of movie. Another problem I'm having with this is how the killer just happens to show up at the right place in the most convenient plot armor kind of way. It's like, I don't get it. It's like, how the heck did he even know she's at prom at like this hotel? He just shows up. How the heck did he get 100 miles? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he killed that one dude and took his car. But still, how did he find out that the prom's going to be over there? Most people don't know where a prom's going to be at. So how the heck did he even know? Then when he chased Lisa, the black girl and everything, it's like, okay, he passed by her. She thought she recognized him, but she wasn't quite sure. So then all of a sudden, he just waited by like the staircase thinking and hoping she would go there. Like the elevator just conveniently don't work. But did he really sabotage the elevators? And so he's just waiting in the stairwell and everything. But how did he know she would actually remember him, and actually go to the stairwell? And so then he chased her and everything and killed her. And when he was chasing her, like, he just happened to pop in the most convenient place where she would be at after she ran for such a long time. But it was nice to see some element of a slasher in this. And the most scariest part was the beginning when like Brittany Snow's character was younger, she was hiding under the bed, and all you saw was this mom's feet and the mom like acting hysterical as the killer is like there. That was the most intense part of the entire movie because all the kills were lame or laughable and everything. And he didn't even wear a mask. At least I know that from the original and stuff. And so it's just, this is one of those times where like Hollywood can't be this stinking stupid. I don't get it with these reboots, man. How do you ruin a reboot? And you want to know something else? It's like, if something gets made today and say they decide to race swap like main characters and stuff, or gender swap them, or just make it woke or whatever, right? You'll hear those anti-woke boys crying and screaming how wokeness destroyed this franchise or this reboot or this and that. Well, you want to know something? If you watch this movie, it is just like the original. It's predominantly white. And it still flopped. And they can't blame it on two black people that are barely in the movie. So it's like, what's their excuse for why this flop? Can't be wokeness and everything because it's predominantly white. And they adhered to the casting of like the original, with the final girl being that of a girl. And so this is why I always say, like, those people just talk completely out their butt for YouTube money and clicks and likes and all this other crap. Because wokeness does not destroy things. It's bad writing and bad direction. And this movie has bad writing in terms of it being a slasher movie and just bad direction altogether. So while it's an okay, like, cop drama type crime, true crime type thing, it is not a good slasher. And so basically when they get her to like safety at her home, somehow the killer just happens to escape by putting on the uniform of like, a bellhop type dude. And it's just kind of like, he even passed by the cop that knows what he looks like. And yes, I've said this before. Hair makes the difference. If you shave your head and you used to have shaggy hair and a beard, you shave it all off, you do look different. And the killer does look different. And so somehow he made his way to her house. He cut the power. He killed all the cops with just a knife, even though they had a gun. And he tried to fight her off. This is when she does the heroic final girl thing just to get shot by the cop. Everything's all good. The cop and the final girl hug it out, and then the movie ends. It should have just been a true crime cop drama type thing. It really should have, and just left out the slasher element, because this is not a slasher. And I hate when stuff like this happens, because it makes the cast look like, they're incompetent in everything. Because, and it does. Because it's like, they star in this, it flops, it hurts their career. Thank God it did not hurt her career or Dana Davis' career and a couple of the others. Because it could have, you know what I'm saying? If it was made today and it would have flopped, it would have hurt some careers. Look at Chris O'Donnell. Dude used to be a movie star. Starred in 2 Batman movies that people weren't feeling, and now he's relegated to television. And that's it. That is literally it. So yes, when your movie flops and bombs, it can hurt your career. Oh, and one thing that's odd about this movie is that there's an actress in here named Rachel, right? And she was in The House Bunny, had a small role in it. And both of these movies came out in the same year. And she's done other stuff, right? Even like produced like her own stuff. I forget what show she produced. So she's not like super famous, but she's a little famous and everything. She was in this movie and she literally just stood there and had no line of dialogue. Not one single line. She was friends with the mean girl and everything. And I'm just kind of like, why is she even in this movie as like an extra? When she's actually starred in stuff before this and after this and during the time of this movie. Hollywood is strange. Okay, so I just now watched the original 1980 Prom Night. And I can honestly say that a lot of scenes in it were a whole lot better in terms of suspense, like mystery, and like slashery type stuff. I don't think it's super like a perfect film, you know what I'm saying? But like it's a whole lot more interesting than this movie. Now wasn't that spooky? Alright, well I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.